Welcome to the Litany of Catholic Martyrs for September 13th. As Catholics, we are assured of a constant thread of over 2,000 years of tradition and moral teaching. Within this thread are those who have sacrificed their lives through the shedding of their blood for the faith and Holy Mother Church. On this day, we remember these martyrs whom, through their sacrifice, have aided in the growth and stability of the Catholic Church. As a Catholic Catechism number 2473 states, martyrdom is the supreme witness given to the truth of the faith. It means bearing witness even unto death. The martyr bears witness to Christ who died and rose, to whom he is united by charity. He bears witness to the truth of the faith and of Christian doctrine. He endures death through an act of fortitude. Quote, "Let me become the food of the beast. Through him it will be given me to reach God." Close quote. And now I offer the story by the Venerable Bishop Fulton Sheen. He explained that when the communists took over China, they imprisoned a priest in his own rectory near the church. After being locked up in his own house, the priest looked out the window and was horrified to see the communists enter the church. Once inside, they went into the sanctuary, broke open the tabernacle, and in a hateful act of desecration, threw down the ciborium, scattering the hosts on the floor. The priest knew exactly how many hosts had been in the ciborium: 32. When the communists left, they either didn't notice or didn't pay any attention to a small girl praying in the back of the church who saw everything. That night she returned, and slipping past the guard at the rectory, entered the church, where she made a holy hour, perhaps of reparation for the desecration she witnessed of the Blessed Sacrament. After her holy hour, she went into the sanctuary, and kneeling down, she bent over and received Jesus and the Holy Communion with her tongue, since it was not permissible at this time for laymen to touch the sacred host with their hands. Each night the girl returned to the church to make her holy hour and receive Jesus and Holy Communion on her tongue, just as she did the first night. On the 32nd night, after having consumed the last host, she accidentally made a noise that awoke the guard who was asleep at his post by the priest's residence. From his bedroom window, the priest could only watch in horror as a heart-rending scene unfolded before his eyes. The girl tried to run away, but the guard caught up with her and beat her to death with the butt of his rifle. And now this young maiden lives with our Lord in heaven through her act of fortitude, strength, and love. The following is a list of those who the Church asks us to remember today. As always, please pray for all those who had loved ones who were martyred on Easter Sunday in Sri Lanka. At Alexandria, the birthday of Blessed Philip, father of the Virgin Saint Eugenia, resigning the dignity of prefect of Egypt, he obtained the grace of baptism. His successor, the prefect Terentius, caused him to be pierced through the throat with a sword whilst he was praying. Also the holy martyrs Macrobius, and Julian, who suffered under Licinius. On the same day, Saint Ligorius, martyr, who living in the desert was murdered by the Gentiles for the faith of Christ. He was probably eremitical, and they came out to the desert. He wasn't bothering anybody. At Alexandria, St. Eulogius, a bishop celebrated for learning and sanctity. At Angers in France, St. Mauritius, a bishop, renowned for numberless miracles. At Sens, St. Amatus, bishop and confessor. On that same day, St. Venerius, confessor, a man of admirable sanctity, who led an eremitical life in the island of Palmaria. And finally, in the monastery of Ramimon in France, Saint Amatus, priest and abbot, illustrious for the virtue of abstinence and the gift of miracles. These are the men, women, and children that we honor today as we go through our day, and if we are presented with a situation where we will defend the church, are asked by God to defend the church, let us remember these men, women, and children and act as they did, with love, faith, hope, and charity. Thank you all for listening.